Hello and welcome back to another one of my videos. In this video I'll be adding hugomanenti95. We did have him a while back, but because he had to add almost double his funds in March, the beginning of March, I think it was, 1st of March, we basically would have needed $1,000 to copy him, and I didn't have that kind of money. So we had to close him out, and we temporarily chose Isabel. As you can see here, we have Isabel. It's only down by 2%, considering, all the bad stuff that's happening recently. Just to give you context, today is the 26th of March. And, to be honest, since the middle of February, it's been going really bad, but I feel like in the last 2 or 3 days, it's really gotten really bad. So minus 2% for Isabel, that's not too bad. We did have to get rid of Jazzy, unfortunately. Jazzy, as I say, Jazzy was someone that I respected. So there's some mutual respect between us, I'd like to think. We had our email conversations back and forth. We had little chats here and there. We both learned things from each other. And the idea was that I would keep him, for a very long time. But if we look at his stats for this year, let's look at the last year. So the last year, 56%, all greens. And then a huge spike here at 20% in November. And then for this year is minus 7%. So 5% here, or almost 6% here, then minus 3%, and then almost minus 10%. And I don't think yesterday's figures have kicked in yet, and that was quite bad. So this might actually be more than minus 7% for the year. And it's ringing alarm bells for me. I was sort of, because I've got copiers now as well. I've got 3 copiers. I lost one. I've got 3 copiers. And I can't just do it for me anymore, just because I feel like I have a connection with Jazzy, and I respect what he's doing. It come to a point where it's like, well, I need to maybe close Jazzy because he's not doing very good, and my copiers, are going to have feel the effects of that. I've just been sort of torn in the last few days, just thinking what to do, whether I should keep him, and let it ride out and see what happens, or whether I should swap him out. So as you can see, ultimately I have swapped him out, which was unfortunate. I did notify him as well, as you can see here. One thing he did mention, which has given me a little bit more insight, because, as I say, I'm an average Joe. We're always learning all the time. I don't fully know everything, we're on a journey together. So he said, let me point out one thing. On the same premise, you would have left Jay in 2018, when Jay lost 50% for 2018. Certain strategies follow certain cycles. We're now in a cycle in which growth, non-mega caps, which I've learned is what Jazzy is doing. He's all about buying the small companies and having a long-term growth. And these ones underperform by a wide margin. And investors with this strategy, such as me, Reinhard Cozy and Logic 4, etc. And also Wayne Nuez, I think, as well. I had a look at him today, and he's actually closed all of his positions because he was minus 10 or minus 12% for the year. So I think he might be doing a similar thing where it's like a growth strategy. I'm having a hard time. Crypto had a horrible time in 2018, and investors focusing on that spectrum of the market had a terrible year. Value investors had horrible first 3 months in 2020. My point is that not every strategy will always be the best one for the time, and evaluating based on 3 months, which is how long I was copying him the second time around. So I think I did copy him a little bit back in December 2020. That you've been copying for is not a sufficient sample size anyway. I definitely don't take it personally, don't worry. It's always a brilliant website. Best of luck. I know from Gavin McCauley, who does the COPYTRADE podcast and also social trading vlog, and I'm sure a lot of people, they get different traders that work in different markets. So there might be one for stocks, one for crypto, one for ETFs, indices, commodities. Try and cover all the grounds, to cover all these cycles, so that when in one of these cycles it does sort of dip, it can be covered, because you've got other people in different cycles where their sector that they're in, like the assets that they're trading, won't be as down as, say, crypto, because you're not only copying crypto people. So, that seems like something that I need to start maybe looking into. To be fair, if all the people like Jazzy with the growth, I've had a look at the people he's mentioned. So let's have a quick look. So we look at Jazzy, he's -7 for the year. If we look at the other guy he mentioned, he's at -7 for the year. If we look at the other guy he mentioned, he's at -9 for the year. And also Wayne Nuez, which I also believe is doing the same thing. I might be wrong, but I think so. -9% for the year. So, if this is, an average of what the growth sector does, then, the growth sort of cycle, the people that trade the growth assets, if it goes down this much, and, there's always going to be corrections in the market, I'm not sure if I want to be, copying someone that trades in that, because this is really low. It's not good. If you look at the other people, like if you look at Isbell, which doesn't trade in growth, he's at +16 for the month. It's all green, actually. There's quite a lot of other people as well. So if we look at Monabel, Falzix, Bell's got a short dip there, but generally it's the whole year's in the positive. And the same with Falzix, so a little dip there, but generally 13% for the year. And Monabel, 21% for the year. It's not -7% or -10% for the year, which is obviously, devastating. I don't know. At the moment, to me, it's kind of like, I'm in two minds. Should I get a load of different people that do different sectors and stuff and balance it out? Or just try and focus on individual traders and look at them as a whole, and who do lots of different things at the same time. They don't only specialize in one thing. If the market starts to dip, maybe they'll put on, a short-term sell of the NASDAQ, or a buy of the VVX or the SQQQ. Try and have all of these tools under their belt. So yeah, I've been recently looking at people, how they've handled the last month. I basically just go on my watch list, search by the change in the last month, just see how they've handled it. So the people in the green are really standing out to me. So Isbell, Chris Cow, Val, Monabel, Falzix, James, Hugo, who will be copying today, Pino, Campervans. Campervans is looking more like a good option to me as well, so he's on my list. Jay, Mr. G, Kanjao, and Rolando. Obviously, these aren't the only people like that, but these are the people that's on my list. I've sort of revised my list, took some people off, added some people on. And considering just how bad recently the last month has been, the dip. If I was trading myself, I'm sure I'd be like deep in the red by now. So the people who's in the green, especially green for the whole year, 2021, they have respect from me. That's very good. Another thing that Jazzy said, which has been playing on my mind. So, he had been trading for 6 months before he messaged me, and we had the email chain back and forth. But he was saying, obviously, he was surprised. He didn't know that copy traders copy the invested amount as opposed to the value amount. So that was news to him. But after a few comments and messages that we've had, on the eToro page, it seems that he's also, he said something which led me to believe that he thinks the value percentage say if you've copied Bitcoin for 10% and it's gone up to 50% value, that having 50% value is just the same as having 50% invested. So, I could be wrong, but from the sounds of that, maybe he still doesn't fully understand what the value actually means in that sense, because having the value so high, the value percentage, is definitely not the same as having the invested that same height. So basically, I feel like I have a connection with Jazzy. Had some chats and stuff, but I think what I'll do, obviously I've got rid of him now, but we'll keep him on the watch list. I'll see how he goes, keep reading his posts, watch his growth for the year, because obviously I'm going to be doing this ideally for the rest of my life. So we'll see how he grows in a few years, see what he's learned, see if he tweaks a bit of his style to sort of minimize, the huge losses that he's just experienced in this, downward cycle. So I'm sorry, Jazzy. I'll keep you on my watch list. It's not going to change anything. Between us, we've both made that clear. Just right now, I need to focus elsewhere. I'm still learning. I still, need to do some more research into everything trading, everything eToro. But for now, it's farewell, I'm sorry to say. And we're going to stick on Hugo, who has been doing very well. Let's have a quick look at Hugo. Have a look at his stats. So last year, 83% with a very minimal loss, pretty much all green, 83%. This year, it's only 5. We've been seeing people that has 15 and 20, but 5 is still good. It's not -7, and he's only down a little bit here. I think there's a lot of room for improvement for this year. I think we can hopefully see 35, 40%, maybe even more out of the ghost data, just a gut feeling. But I think Hugo's got something. And as soon as I've added him with Jay and Isabel and Hugo, I really don't want to keep closing people. I want to keep those as they are. So Jay on 500, Isabel on 500, and Hugo on 500. And I want to keep it that way. I don't want to keep closing and making my sort of average holding time, if you will, 2 months, which it currently is, 2 months holding time. And I think that's because I keep closing people. So let's keep people for longer term. Let's keep Jay, Isabel, and Hugo. That'll be the goal. Whether I stick to it, I don't know. I'll try. So now would be a good time to copy Hugo as well, considering how the market is. Let's have a look how it currently is. So it's up to 0.12%. This is the graph here. Yeah, so this is 15th of February, and it's just been going down and then correcting itself. And hopefully it shouldn't go down too much more. In regards to the support and stuff, I think 12,777 was the support, which is now breached. So, in regards to support, theory only, hopefully it shouldn't go below 12,400, I think it was. It can do, but hopefully it's just in a correction. Hopefully it's just in a consolidation area now, and hopefully it won't go down too much, hopefully, and either stay on a level, horizontal line with a bit of increase or dramatically increase. We'll see. But, compared to the last month, it has been going down a lot. So I think now is one of the best times to copy someone, and that someone is going to be Hugo. I'm going to copy with $500. $500, copy open trades. Let's go. Brilliant. Okay, this is my new team. The team will obviously expand in time, but I'm a little low on funds at the moment. But yeah, I have a list lined up. For now, this is my team. I see some good things for the year. welcome aboard, Hugo. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Lots of good things to come, I hope. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Cheers.